Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Kris. This video, was I glitching? I thought I was. This video is sponsored by YouBuyWeRush. Hard truth about, let me say that again. Hard truth about U.S. Muslim community. Oh, I'm so tired right now. And this is with Nick. I'm going to butcher his last name. Pelletier. This is the same Nick from the Janiversity videos, and I clicked on it and it started playing, and I have to tell you, boy, he looks different. But this is like 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago. So, but we're going to go ahead and get into it. As you can see, I clicked the thumbs up. If you could do that for me, that helps. Subscribe if this is kind of stuff you like. And if you want your name sponsored on a video, all you got to do is click the thanks button and donate. Request a video. You can still request a video without donating. It just takes longer to get to. And video.
All right. So the dynamics of the Muslim community in America are very complex, and I think in order to really understand it and put it into context, we have to look at how did these places really develop. And most of the people came here not because they wanted to necessarily leave their countries, but they left their countries because of the political, social, economic oppression that they faced in those places, and the lack of the ability to climb up the ladder without, cheating or getting involved in corruption and doing things that they probably didn't feel were morally acceptable. So people came to America for a lot of different reasons. Some of them came for money, some of them came for education. Again,
I came to America because I was born here, so I totally get it.
Some of them came fleeing war, poverty, political, economic, social oppression. And so the people that came here, they didn't have the idea of, I'm coming to America to make sure that somebody named Nick accepts Islam. And we know how important intention is in terms of our deeds being accepted. And if we're going to worry about our intention for any deed, we should worry about our intentions for the very existence of us inside of this country, first and foremost. And I'm not an advocate of people to all go back home, but I am an advocate of people looking at and changing their intention for why are you here. Because really being in one of these so-called Western countries is a golden opportunity for dawah and reward. You could really lay the foundation that Allah knows best, years to come could produce hundreds of thousands of followers to the religion of Islam. And so what happens is that, again, you have people that are living overseas. I give the example of Egypt, for example. It's not rare to find somebody driving a taxi cab who's got 2 PhDs, speaks multiple languages, but he's only getting paid $200 a month. And so coming to America is a very appealing opportunity, because once they get here, they could turn those educational degrees, or they're hard workers, they know how to pass exams, and they can get they can get further education. They can become doctors, engineers, work for big companies. They get themselves a 6-bedroom house in a gated community with the nice cars, and they're living the life. In fact, a lot of these brothers and sisters are living better than a lot of us who are indigenous here in the United States. They're doing great. They're working for Fortune 500 companies. They're doing nice for themselves. And the second thing that you have to consider is that a lot of times these people who are coming to the United States, they're coming with their Islamic perspective of what they got back home, which a lot of times might be influenced.
Quick thing. Some people might be coming from Egypt, right? You'd be coming from a predominantly Islamic country. And so when you think of the U.S., you'll think Christianity. You also think anti-Muslim, potentially. I don't know. I'm just, So that might just be scary and unappealing to you, and you don't want to make that commitment, because what if it does go wrong? What if what if my religion isn't what they want, so they don't want me? Trust me when I tell you, if you're in that area, if you move to an area and they look at you and look down on you because of your religion, you could probably move to a 3, 4, 5 blocks away and be welcomed. You're just in a terrible area with terrible people. It is just, and that's world around.
influenced by culture, might be influenced by political movements and things of that nature. Also, when you look at what the masjid looks like and represents in the Muslim world, a lot of times, people don't like me to say this, but a lot of times they're resting places for pigeons. Outside of the 5 daily prayers, there's no activities going on. There might be some tahfidh halaqat where a few kids are getting smacked around if they don't memorize the verses that they're supposed to do, but there's no real youth activities. There's no, intramural sports people can get involved in, community barbecues. And now some people would argue that, well, that's because there's already a society over there that's taking care of these things. And that puts you in one of two positions. Either A, you're saying that the society over there already takes care of that, which we know that here in America it's not taking care of that, so we need those things. Or if the masjid is providing those things, we should provide those things here, which everybody knows that that's not what happens. And so the end result is that our masajid in America have to look a lot different than what they look like back home. And this is a battle in every single community. I don't know how many times I've been someplace and they either have a multi-purpose hall or they're trying to build a multi-purpose hall, and they originally fundraise under the banner of the youth. We care about the youth, we want to get stuff for the youth, and then it turns into a multi-purpose hall so that we can have aqiqahs and weddings. Because culturally that's what's important to us. And we neglect, a lot of people are in la la land with regards to the reality of the country that you're living in. Khatibs, young brothers that are coming back that want to reach out to the younger communities, they start talking about issues that the community is taboo for them. Like maybe homosexuality or, drug use or pornography. And all of our kids are exposed to this. I mean, you look at statistics, 1 out of 3 kids in every high school is smoking marijuana. So if your kid isn't, the kid that he knows is. You look at statistics for things like pornography, and you don't even want to know about it. If your kid's got a Twitter account, he's exposed to this stuff. Boys and girls. And so if we're not creating a safe and healthy environment for the children, you're going to lose all of those kids. And I hear too often people like, oh, wait for the next generation. No, there ain't going to be no next generation. You're going to lose these kids. And the ones that are sticking around are kind of getting brainwashed by the generation that's here that, no, this is the way that the masjid should look like. It's quiet, no women, no children. All you do is come, pray, read Quran, and go home. And so when you have these big centers, this is a paradise for some of these people, where they're able to do all of these functions. They have their guest speakers that they call in and fly in, and hey, it's looking great. But the problem that we have by and large in the Muslim community is that we're really good at building structures. We're very bad at building community. And we think that numbers means community, and that's not the reality. We're talking about brotherhood. Brotherhood isn't just, taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum, salamu alaykum wa rahmatullah, and then you get up and you go. The Sahaba, they battled together. They went to fight Badr, for example. A lot of times people think like, okay, they just beam me up Scotty over to Badr. But you've lived in Saudi Arabia, and you know that going from Medina to Badr, that's a trip. And it's not a straight shot. You're winding through mountains. And that's not a day trip. That's, going to take a long time for you to get there. So we think about the bonding experience that happened during this process, the campfires that happened during this process, the jokes they played on each other, that developing one another. Because Umar ibn al-Khattab, when asked about the credentials of some individual, he checked the person and says, do you know him? And one of the things was, did you travel with that person? Did you do business with that person? So if we're not creating environments where the people can interact with one another, we're really not building those bonds of brotherhood. We have to really work on building that sense of a community. And unfortunately as well, we've created this atmosphere in our Islamic centers where it's a place for perfect people. You're either on what I'm upon, or I'm gonna throw it in your face. And the reality is that even if the people that you are hoping to be upon, whatever you're upon, whether it's your cultural, ethnic understanding of Islam or it's your methodology, you're not going to get those people to come on board by being harsh and by being exclusive. That doesn't work with people. Allah says in the Quran that if you're too hard of hearted, that the people would turn away from you. And so a lot of times we turn people away. people come to the mosque, especially converts. They got a difficult time because they don't speak the language, so they kind of feel isolated of the ethnic groups that are in the community. They're black, so people don't give them salams, right? They're sisters that aren't dressed in the hijab that you would like to see. And it's like, wait a second, you know, the Sahaba didn't change overnight. Why are you expecting these other people to change overnight? We're not making halal haram, and we're not making haram halal. We're not changing the deen, but we're just having realistic expectations of knowing that I didn't get to where I am overnight. I don't expect you to get over there overnight. So what we need to be doing is telling people that, look, I know where you're at, and I'm here to help. And if it takes you 10 years to get where you want to go, I'm here to help. If it takes you 3 months, I'm here to help. I'm not here to judge you, but I'm here to tell you, look, this is what Islam says, this is what is right, this is what is wrong, and you're going to have shortcomings, faults, and mistakes. Keep it moving. You know, but this whole message of you're perfect or you're out, you know, that's not, first of all, it's not Islam. Second of all, it don't work. It's not going to work with the people.
You're perfect or you're out. Yeah. That's kind of like saying, look, you're on board 100%, but your first screw up, we don't need you. And it's like, how many people in here, though, have been perfect? You know? The path that you're going to follow might start off like this, but you keep going, you're going to see footprints going all those other ways. And that's where people went wrong. And then you might see footprints coming back. And that's where they corrected. They course corrected and they made changes. And everyone's going to have stepped off that path here and there. It happens. You just gotta know that you're human and you're doing your best. And course correct. Get back on board. As long as you're always willing to come back and you're not willing to throw it all away, but you're striving to be on this path. And if you step off and you curve a little bit, but you always come back to it, you're trying to be that good person. And I think that's commendable. It's better than saying, this is what I am, this is the path I walk, and then you walk over this way and you're like, no, I'm on that path. Just I'm over here. You guys keep walking that path. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm over here. I'm being good. But you guys got to be on that path. You can't be like me. And no one would be there. Okay. Wow, that Nick really does look different. That's 7 years ago, though. All right. We're going to end this here. But until next time, have a good day, have a good night.